Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Analyze Your Trade number 201 event on TimingResearch.com. This is our 5th time doing this new format, and today we're going to have 7 analysts looking at charts and talking about stocks. So just a reminder, all of these presentations are for educational purposes only, and trading is not suitable for all people. Please consult a financial advisor and only trade with money you can afford to lose. Also, all sessions will be recorded individually and permanently available on the Timing Research website, as well as the Timing Research YouTube channel. So today we're opening with Alaina Nicole, and I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to her.
Good morning. I'm Alaina from Investing Day, and I like to scalp. I'm predominantly a scalper, so I'm happy to answer any of your questions about trading. This is like my livelihood. Today I'm watching SPX, of course, that's my favorite, but it is definitely treacherous, so I don't recommend it for someone who's just getting started. But I also like Carvana today and Meta. Meta had a nice move after earnings yesterday. And now actually United Health, I got my eye on that too. So yeah, let's see. If you guys have any tickers you want to look at, I'm more than happy to break them down for you. I love charting. This is my jam. Let's see. My favorite tools, I like EMAs, exponential moving averages. As a scalper, like I need to know what's happening right now. So I like lower time frames. I like the EMAs, they update a lot faster. Let's look at Amazon. I also like the Fibonacci. It makes life a little cleaner. Organized. I love to be organized when I'm trading. Let's see what Amazon's got for us today. I'm gonna fib Amazon. Let's see. I made a 10-point move. Let's see. So one thing I'll show you guys too. There's an indicator called the average true range that I love. And you can just add it onto your chart real quick. So what I like to do is I'll go onto the daily chart and I'll look for the ATR. So here it's 4.63. Basically what this is telling me is that on average, Amazon moves 4 points, 4.63 points a day in either direction. And so when I'm drawing out my Fibonacci, I'm just going to take it maybe 5 points because Amazon doesn't typically run too hard. So you don't need a ton of price levels to see where it may go. So in this case from yesterday, we had a really big move after close. So this would be like a really wide fib. So I think what I'll do instead of taking this whole low is just go from here. So the low here, 104.91, we'll take it to the high, which is 112.19. I'm gonna flip my fib. So we got the 100% up top. And then I'm gonna take it down to these lower time frames and see what we got. So Amazon, if you notice, we got a trend line here to watch. So we wouldn't even worry about playing the upside until we can break that. It actually looks like we've got a bit of a descending triangle. We'll see if we can break this low. But my first target here, of course, is the 200. That's a big one. If we can break that, then you're looking for 108.55. If we do crack this trend line to the upside, then we're looking for this 110.63. And if you notice, well, on your fib, you'll have a level called the golden ratio, 61.8. Typically what you'll see is like from the top, your stocks will fight to get there. From the bottom, they'll fight to get there too. So this is a big level. We could see some chop here, some sideways action until we pick a direction, but this is a really, really big price level here, that 109.41. And I'll pull up Facebook over here too. Or Meta, I still call it Facebook. It's Meta now, I guess. Let's look. All right, so Meta, it looks like, oh yeah, so Meta has this huge gap, right, from earnings yesterday. And I'll pull it up for you guys so you can see where I drew it. Yeah, so we can't see gaps on the Heikin-Ashi candles. We can see them on the regular candles, but you can see Meta had this, I just marked it up before the session started if you didn't see it. The ATR here is 6.55. So obviously this move that Meta made yesterday and today, it's not like an everyday thing. I wish it was, but it's not. So what we'll do here, I'll take this off for us and we can go back to the drawing board. What we'll do here is we'll just fib this because this is such a big jump. And I'll even just show you what it looks like for learning purposes, right? So if we take it from this low before we gapped up to the high of the day, which is what, 184.55. I'm just gonna type it in. These candles are really small. Oh, it's really close. Okay, so if we fib all of that, do you guys see how spread out these price levels are? Like it's a lot for like a short-term trade, right? So in that case, I will probably just move my fib up just a hair to make it more tradable. And then if we do move lower, we can just adjust our levels from there. But I'm just gonna focus on this up here. And we'll get this up here. There we go. All right, so now Meta's consolidating. It's actually really just consolidating from that move yesterday. But on the upside, I would really want to see us get support above this 183 level, 183.57. You see how much trouble it's having up here? Really wouldn't feel comfortable playing this until we at least break this. And even then, I would look at more of a short, like really, really quick trade, like just maybe a couple candlesticks. Because last time we were up here, do you see how it got smacked down? Like this candle got totally smacked down. This high got rejected. So this is just treacherous territory. One thing we talk about in our community is like the psychological price levels. So you'll have like technical price levels and you'll also have psychological levels. So for Meta, that 185, that's a big psychological level. So chances are if we can break that, then you'll see some more buyers come in. But if we can't break that, you're probably just going to see a flight all day, right? They may just chop around it all day long. And I hate when stocks are pinned, especially as an options trader, because we need momentum to make money. Otherwise, we're just paying in premium. What do I think about Microsoft and the AI stuff? That's a good question. So one ticker that I would say for you to check out too with this is AI, cleverly named, but they've actually been boogieing this week. AI has actually been boogieing this week, but Microsoft has, for anyone that's not familiar, Microsoft, also Google and Baidu, the Chinese company, BIDU, they're all talking about creating something similar to Chat GPT. So like anything that we see, a lot of times, their competitors step into the lanes. I do think AI is really cool. I think it has a lot of good uses. There's a lot of criticism about it too. But I think Chat GPT is charging like $40 now, something like that. So as a revenue stream, I think that's really good for some of these bigger brands. I was just talking to one of my students the other day and I was like, I think I like Google for this. I feel like they have access to so much information already and search histories, things like that. I'm just really curious to see. I'm really curious to see how this all plays out, actually, but I really like the AI stuff. Let's look at Microsoft real quick, and then we'll go to Adam as well. All right, so Microsoft, let's see, 245. That's still a big jump. Microsoft 2 this morning, it looks like it has a small gap from this morning. So I'm going to mark that up too for us. But if you notice, Microsoft, it looks like it's trying to form a bit of a pennant there. For anyone that's not familiar with those patterns, bullish pennant is, well, it's bullish. It's bullish. So we'll see if we can break that upper trend line on Microsoft and get a little breakout here. So for here, we're clinging on to the 50 for dear life. But if we can stay up here and break a trend line, we should see Microsoft try to move a little higher. If not, of course, we're kind of hanging out here again around this golden ratio. So I've got 257 for the target to the downside, which you can see the buyers are defending this. And then for the upside, I got 258.70 for the first target. Let's see, Adam. I think what I'm going to do on Microsoft for us is go ahead. I'm going to start setting some alerts here. So I'm going to set an alert for 258.70. And I'm just going to leave that. There we go. So there's Microsoft, and then I'll put one for the downside too. Let us know when Microsoft gets to 256.09. And we maybe get a gap fill. All right, what was the other one? ATOM. This thing is beautiful. So the first thing that jumped out to me on this was this golden cross. Typically, when you're 50, when you're 50, moving average crosses that 200, that's really bullish. So you can see we had a really nice, we'll look at VET too. But yeah, so we got this golden cross. So that's really bullish. You can see the buyers coming up off the 50 each time we got a pull back there, little profit taking. I'm not familiar with this ticker, but it looks like it had maybe some kind of catalyst. It maybe just be coming up with the market too. Let's see what this ATR is. It looks like it's less than a point. So something like this, you really don't want to fib too far out. I personally don't like, I don't even know if they have options on this, but I don't like options if the stock has an ATR of less than 1, just because we need movement. But for shares, I'm not mad at this. It probably needs to cool off a bit. Let's look back at this daily real quick. That RSI has a little more room to go to. So just quickly eyeballing this. Let's see. So this was our high of the day so far, right? So the last time we were up here, it looks like we had a little trouble. So I would wait and see if we can clear this. Like the high here is 863. And then I would go from there because you actually got some tweezer tops right there. Definitely don't want to jump into a brick wall. Let's see. But on this one, I would go ahead and set an alert. If you can clear that 863 level, then you got some, this volume's kind of low too, but we just got started. So I would keep my eyes on this today. You got a nice double bottom there to bounce this thing. VET. I've never heard of it. Never heard of it, but that's okay because a lot of times as a scalper, just need a headline. I don't need to know everything about the company. I just need momentum. Let's see. It looks like this thing has a higher low from yesterday, but it's retesting. It looks like. Let's do, I'm just going to jump down to 15. This daily is a bearish for now. But let's look and see. All right, we got lower highs on the 15. You see how we retested the 200 and rejected it a couple times? That's super bearish. We've rejected the 50 now. 1451. You got double bottom on the 15. So we'll see if the buyers can hold this. What I'll do is just fib this out from yesterday's levels. And I'm going to flip this so our lows at the bottom. You can have some levels here. So yeah, for here, that 1451 right now, you have tweezers, but if you do get some more sellers in here, you see this MACD is looking, it has crossed over, but it doesn't have a ton of momentum here, which I think that has to do with the volume as well. But if you get some sellers to push this down below that 1451, look for 1440. Otherwise, this may just chop sideways for a bit. We'll see what it does. Oh yeah, Chewy is a good one. Chewy is a good one. I had people sending my dog Chewy boxes when she got out of the hospital. Let's see. Let's do the daily and just see where we're at. It's important to see, like, I know even if you're trading short term, it's still really important to see like the location of your price, because especially for me, I like the SPX, and I know like it really respects these moving averages. So like some days we'll be like, you know, kissing the 50 or kissing the 200 up on these big time frames. And then I'll know it'll probably be a choppy trading day, right? And so you can see Chewy's been chopping around these moving averages for a while, actually. So we'll see here. It looks like we got some accumulation though, after this big drop. So that is good news. This looks bullish to me, and it looks like it's retracing from here, or trying to reclaim that. So let me see. I'm gonna do more of a short-term thing. So long-term, you see how Chewy's like going for this high, that 51.97. It's trying to retrace this whole move. So that I think is its ultimate goal, but Chewy doesn't run quite that hard. What are we doing today? 1.47. I'm gonna jump down to a 15 real quick. So here, it looks like it's getting a little weaker. You see the buyers are like still pushing up on this, but we're getting lower highs. So I think Chewy definitely has to get some volume in here to try to move past that. But beyond that, this 47.17 level would be the first stop. What that I would look for. But I'm gonna do a closer fib. I'm just gonna fib today's levels and we can see a tighter spread. A lot of times I'll use those fib levels for like strike prices, things like that, because it's really quick to look over there. Let's jump down. All right, so Chewy's rolling over just a hair. So 47.37, it looks like it wants, and that's actually your golden ratio. If we bounce here for whatever reason, that 48.84, but you see how hard it tried to get there, or it tried to hold that, the sellers came out of there. So yeah, I think Chewy's cooling off here. Let's see. Let's check on SPX. It's consolidating still. It looks like it got in that gap from this morning, and it's just kind of hanging out. We just need some volume in here. We've got Apple reporting earnings today as well, so I was expecting this to chop around too. Honestly, I didn't have really high expectations for Apple today. Look at this resistance. This is hideous. I did read an article yesterday that mentioned Apple potentially posting a revenue miss. So I'm curious to see how that plays out. But this is super choppy. I just look at that and see time decay, honestly. I don't even want to hang out there too long. Let's look at United Health. Let's look at some downside opportunity. All right, so just like we had that golden cross, we got the death cross over here. So that's cool for the bears. I don't know what the catalyst was to drive this thing down this morning. I didn't see anything, but I'm pretty sure something maybe came out and I just didn't see it. Let's see. I don't know. I'd have to research, but just as a scalper, I see we've double bottomed, so I see it's at least trying to recover here, but we rejected that 50. But if you notice, our lows actually moved up too. So I'm curious to see if we can reclaim that 482 level on this. So what I would do here is actually put in a, I'd probably just put it on the 50, to be honest. So we'll just say, let us know when United Health crosses that 50, and then we can go from there. Otherwise, it's just gonna reject it. Or not gonna reject it, but it could reject it. Let's see. I'm gonna go ahead and throw up a trend line here too for the downside. Because it could very well chop around. I love Tesla. I love Tesla. We were having, we did like this thing in our group the other day. It was maybe like, I don't know, maybe like 2-3 weeks ago. But we all gave out our price targets for Tesla, and like everyone was like 90, 95. And I was totally kidding, but I was like 150. And then everyone's like, oh my goodness. But I was like, no, I was just kidding, but here we are. I just don't ever want to bet against Tesla. That's how I feel about it. I don't bet against Elon. But there's a pattern here. We actually got an inverted head and shoulders. So let's see if we can push back to that 191. That would be cool. Yeah, I definitely did not have 190 in my sights. Oh, we just got a Microsoft alert. Let's look at it. I'm going to pull it up side by side. Tesla actually looks like it wants to push to that high. I'm going to keep it up here because I love my patterns. And let's do Microsoft over here. Well, Tesla's going to make tweezer tops. All right, we see Microsoft getting active over here too. That's not good. The fact that they're pushing back on my candle, that's not good. Same on Microsoft. What else is going on today? Meta is ripping. Let's see. Home Depot looks good. So this watch list, I guess I'll say something about this too. So my watch list is basically for, because I trade mainly the S&P, but I will like dabble in other things if we're choppy. But this is like my S&P watch list. So I have the Hang Seng, which is like China's index. I have the Nikkei 225, which is Japan. I like to watch both of those because they're really, our economies are like intricately intertwined. I've got the crude oil futures because of course S&P has an energy component. And then we have Dow, NASDAQ, and the S&P itself. I've got all my ETFs that track the indices up here, and the VIX, of course, is a big deal. And then I have the top 20 holdings of S&P up here. I want to know what they're doing because, you know, they're weighted. So it really helps to see what these guys have going on as far as how this thing should be played. But I do have other watch lists. Just depends on what I'm looking for. I have one that I break down by sectors. I'm just really big on being organized. I don't know. I think trading is so chaotic sometimes. It just helps when you're organized. It really, really helps. All right. I'm curious to see if the bulls come in and do anything. We just need some volume. The volume this year and last year has been super crazy. And not in a good way. It's like the whole market's volume is dropping. All right, Tesla. It's gonna retest it. I think I do. One thing about SPX, like I traded it on demo and back testing for like 6 months before I ever did it in live market because it scares me. Like they called the Widowmaker. So I was like, let me actually learn this thing for real before I like jump in and lose everything. But it was, I like it just because I mentor and I teach. And so it's just cool that I can just get in and out of SPX with a profit in just a few minutes. That's my favorite thing about it. You know, I can trade like 3 candles and then be done for the day or the week or whatever. But it just takes a lot of patience and a lot of practice. But I'll always love SPY. I'll always love SPY as well. Do you guys have a preference between SPY and SPX? This past Saturday, we just had an SPX scalping class. And that was cool. That was really fun. My worry though is like I'm like super like passionate about people who are newer to the market or just newer to SPX in general, and I always want people to protect their capital. But yeah, we have a community on Slack, and it's free. I'm trying to think the best way. If you just go to the website, it'll pop up and ask you if you want to join the community. It's just investingbay.com. Um, but yeah, it's pretty, it's a monster. SPX is a monster. It has a mind of its own. It does what it wants. And if you're right, it's great. If you're wrong, it hurts. That's why we trade with stop losses. Doesn't hurt too much. And I think I heard it from somebody in one of your series, David, and it stuck with me. I can't remember who said it. It was a lady, but she said, if you're thinking about your losses when you go to bed at night, you're doing this wrong. And it stuck with me. But I actually learned that from y'all. So it's pretty cool.
Oh, yeah, sounds familiar. I'll try to remember who said that.
Yeah, I cannot remember who I heard it from, but I know it was on the series.
Okay. Yeah, I'll think about that.
So one thing that's super important too as a trader is to like know when to sit on your hands. So like when the market is super choppy, you don't want to try to like assume which direction we're gonna go, because I've seen times where like we're flat all day, you know. So it just protects your capital. A lot of traders don't play defense, like they're always playing offense. But you got to know when to protect your money and not put it at risk. I do like Microsoft right now. I just need some more volume in there and I'll feel better about it. Tesla's trying to break that high. It's just, there's a lot of resistance up there. But I have no idea. Let's see. There's Meta. Look at this. There's a double bottom. There's our neckline. And then we broke it. And this is nasty. This is nasty. I'm gonna adjust my high on Meta. We hit 188. I literally said earlier, if we break 185, she should take off, and there she goes. I wish I set an alert for that. All right, so our next target here is that 191.59 extension. This is sick. I'm happy to see Meta like on the recovery track because it got beat down last year. This RSI, I will point out, is insane. This is insane. So you don't want to chase things. You totally don't want to chase things. Oh yeah, that's one of my mentees. AC. Well, I just said his name, but it's okay. He hit. I don't even remember the number, but he just hit six figures not too long ago in the community. He's been killing it. But yeah, the eagle entry, that's something that we teach in our, like, it's a little more advanced. We get into like trading geometry and stuff. And one thing I've learned is that people get overwhelmed sometimes when you throw a lot of stuff at them. But we do have like a geometry stuff that we teach. It's like 2-hour session. And we break down all that good stuff. Like, you know, MACD and RSI, those are like lagging indicators, meaning they don't update in real time. But your geometry stuff is forward looking. So that's one thing that really helps me trade SPX, because I can kind of see where the possibilities lie. So that stuff is like a cheat code. But yeah, it is a game changer for sure. It just makes your chart look a little crazy. There's a ton of lines on there, but if you know what they mean, they can definitely benefit you. All right, it looks like Meta's pulling off for us. I just do not like chasing things. If I missed it, I missed it, and I'll catch the next one. And that took me a very long time to learn because I used to be the queen of chasing things in the market. Yeah, just picture it like this. This is literally what I told myself. I was like, when you chase moves that have already happened, it's kind of like showing up to a party after everyone starts to leave and you're like begging them to stay and keep partying. But like it's over, you know, it's over. And then if the party starts again, then we can come back. But you don't want to be the only guy just going by yourself up here if the bears are coming. But it looks like the buyers are still trying to push higher here. This would be a really, really quick thing. And I really don't even like this resistance up here. And that right there, it looks like a gravestone, which is super bearish. We got Microsoft hitting some resistance. Tesla hit resistance. Oh, there's Microsoft and Tesla. See if Microsoft can give us 260. That would be beautiful. And notice the NASDAQ and the S&P and the Dow. The Dow's even coming up. Let's see. I don't know why Safari hates me today. It just keeps saying I'm using energy. That's fine. All right, Microsoft, let's do it. Oh yeah, just remember to play defense with your money. You don't want to put your capital at risk. People, we work hard for our money, so just always protect it. All right. You guys see all the targets up here? Tesla, we got 190.26, or sorry, 191.26. Meta, we got 191.59, and then Microsoft, we got 260.66. And we just want to make sure the volume's coming in and the buyers keep buying. That's what we want to see. This is like the best day of my life. These charts look so good today. Yesterday was fun too. Did you guys trade the FOMC? Yeah. Fed days are always pretty interesting. Not always. I've actually seen us close flat on Fed days. That was very anticlimactic. Students always laugh at me like when they're trading with me because they're like, well, it's like me and my partner, but they're like, it's like we're at a spa. But like you want to always be super relaxed. Never want to feel like you're watching the Super Bowl, even though sometimes it can be really exciting. You want to keep your composure and just really, really focus on your price action. So over here on Tesla, not Tesla, on Microsoft, that candle right there, it's called a harami. And the harami is a reversal candle, right? It means, this is it, I'll show you guys it. But it means pregnant. And it's, why did I draw it right there? How did I miss the candle? Here we go. But it means pregnant. So it's basically saying like this candle is pregnant with this one, right? The body and both wicks are inside, and that's bearish. In this case, it's bearish. Unless this candle closes and pushes higher, this is a reversal candle. I think he said he was coming back to Twitter, but he actually released a video this morning and the market didn't really react to it, I don't think. But yeah, he did say he was coming back to Twitter. I figured he would. He has like 80 million followers over there. That's hard to like say no to, you know? It's a big audience. And he got him in like 2 days. Yeah, I remember really early on in trading, and please don't do this. Let me just disclaim that. But my strategy used to be like, just buy puts and just hope Trump tweets something crazy to tank the market. And sometimes it would work, but most of the time my puts would just expire worthless. But that was like my first trading strategy. So that was horrible. Hope is not a strategy. All right, Tesla got our first target. Let's see if she can get the next one. That extension's up at 193. Microsoft is still pushing for 260. That's another big level. That 260 is a psychological level. So I'm not surprised to see some resistance up here. And Meta has totally turned the car around as it should, because the RSI was in the 90s. That is insane. Here's another Harami. Here's a bullish version on Meta right now. So you guys can see both kinds. So we got a bullish Harami here. And we'll see if the buyers step back in on Meta. This is a beautiful trading day. I'm glad I got to do this with y'all. Tesla looks like it wants that 193. I'm gonna take this ATR off of Tesla though. We're done with it. McDonald's, yeah. I was actually on DoorDash last night and I was noticing the prices at McDonald's went up on there too. It's a lot. It's really a lot. Let's see. All right, looks like the buyers are back on Meta. Trying. QGEN. Let's look at it. Let's take down, actually, let's just keep all of our friends up and we'll just add number 4. I feel like this is kind of hard to read. Let's just do this. Keep it simple. All right. Mm. All right, I do see a little bit of a harami here, right over the 50. Let me look at this daily first. Let's see what we're dealing with. It's almost like you got to get to know, like, have you guys ever heard someone say like stocks have personality? They really do. All right, so our ACR is 0.81, so we don't want to fit too far out. This is ranging. It's totally ranging. So let's just do this. Let's see if she's got any gaps. Oh, she does. I don't know why, but I always assume stocks are female. So if you hear me say she, I just mean the stock. And your gaps, just gonna draw them from the high point of your bottom candle to the low point of your top candle. I think that's enough for now. Do we have any upside? I'll mark this one up. We're a ways away from this one, but I'll mark it too. And you can alert yourself to the gaps too. It makes life a lot easier. Okay, I see one more tiny one here that we haven't addressed. But the bigger the gap, the juicier, the juicier it is. All right, let's go back down. And it's gonna take this a while to hit all these because it doesn't move super fast. But let's just run it from a 15 and see what we got. I'm gonna do our fib from yesterday's low to yesterday's high because we're kind of still operating in that space. And then over here, looks like it's holding the 200, which is cool. Definitely gonna mark up this trend line here. All right, so I wouldn't again worry about the upside until we crack this trend line. You got this 49.33 as your first target to the upside. For the downside, it looks like it's kind of consolidating down here a bit, but you do have some support. It's holding the 200 for now, that 49.09. Another thing to note when you're looking at these things is the 50-200, that relationship. So you see how like when we got this golden cross, they opened up and the stock actually moved up with that momentum. But then over here, you see how the 50's curling back down. That's bearish. But they're kind of parallel right now, which means we don't have any direction at all. We're just kind of chopping. But you could set an alert on this thing to crack the 200. That'll kind of get you in there when it's time to do something. But other than that, it could just chop around for a bit. Let's see. Tesla has left the building. Tesla, Meta, and Microsoft. Okay. Meta had some buyers come back in and it didn't double top, not yet, but you see how it's struggling up here? Yeah, that's bearish. Let's see. Yeah, McDonald's scared the life out of me the other day. I don't remember what day it was, but it was the day where everything got halted. McDonald's was down so much pre-market. It was crazy. Always wanted to trade a circuit breaker, but it looks like that one happened pre-market and not during the day, but that's okay. Hopefully at some point I'll get to trade a circuit breaker. I think that'll be a lot of fun. Okay, I stand corrected. Meta actually did double top and it's coming back down. Okay, so if we come down, look for that 186.94 level. I just said it didn't double top and then it did. Gotta love the stock market. Never a dull moment. Tesla's going for our next target. That's beautiful. All right, I'm gonna adjust my fib because we keep smashing levels here. Let's do 194. Oh no, wait, 193.50. So we get a new extension. That'll take us to 196.25. I'm in the mountains. If you hear the train, that's what. Sorry if it's loud. All right, Meta is cooling off. Let's see. Today was beautiful. Did anybody have any other questions or any tickers that I missed? I hope this was helpful. Charts are like my favorite thing ever. Tesla looks like she's not done yet. Let's swap out Microsoft for that. Oh yeah, that double bottom and it broke out. This is beautiful. So your next target here, you would be looking for, well, first you'd be looking to hold this 1476 as support, maybe consolidate here and then push for that 1488. And then also 5200, I would love to see a golden cross right here. Tesla is out of here. That made a really, really nice move. Your buyers look like they're coming back in too. Any chance of that going to $30? I don't know why I said that. That was so dramatic. But let me look at this daily. Let me look at this daily. Has it ever been $30 before? Okay, it has. Let me take all this off. There we go. So for now, typically on the daily chart, the biggest thing you want to look at is where your price is at in relation to the 200. And so in this case, it's below. A lot of times when your stocks, I tell my students, excuse my language, but like if you break the 50, we're going down. If you break the 200, we're going to hell. And so as long as we're below the 200, typically I'm bearish. Typically I am bearish. What you'll see is your stocks will retest. And like that 921 are kind of like your first line of defense here, as far as a reversal. And you can see it's even struggling with that. I wouldn't say never see 30, but like for now, this is it's still in a downtrend. It's still making lower lows. And you can see here, you actually got a head and shoulders. It's kind of messy, but there's your head, or sorry, there's your shoulder, there's your head, and then there's another shoulder. So for now, we're still bearish. What I would like to see for this to really reverse is earnings on 3-3. Oh, I see. What I'd like to see in this is like you have like your market stages too, like the accumulation, the uptrend, the distribution, and the downtrend. So technically this needs to go into accumulation before we think about uptrend, which will look like some sideways action where you'll have buyers come in and start accumulating their shares again. But we haven't even got there yet because we're still making new lows. So if you start seeing it on this daily chart start to move sideways, that's like your first inkling that the buyers are going to come back and try to move this higher. But you definitely got to break the 50 and 200 here to think about this. This is a really long way away. And you see it only moves 79 cents a day on average, and that's in either direction. So it'll take it a while to make it up to here. Unless, of course, it's squeezed or something like that, which we see that too. But that's definitely not something you want to bank on. You don't want to bank on a short squeeze. But yeah, with your long-term stuff, it's really really a waiting game. Yeah, for sure. There's your 1 week calendar, the 1 week per candlestick, and even that's below the 200. We can even take it up to the monthly. Ooh, and it's, yeah, we don't have a 200 up here. Did this thing just, okay, it just IPO'd, that's why. It just IPO'd not too long ago, so we don't even have a 200 here, but this monthly is bearish too. You see that? MACD, it's for the sellers. But that's okay. And you can see up here too, this thing on average moves 5 points a month. So if you're talking about getting to 30, that's potentially, I hate math. I hate math so much, but that's like 3 months of straight uptrend. So you definitely, what you can do here is just get on your daily and set up an alert for that 200. Just tell me like, hey, let me know when Vermilion crosses the 200, and then you can talk about uptrend. And that'll save you from months and months of watching that thing go sideways. I can't believe it's been an hour. Goodness, time flies. Time flies. Thank you guys so much. This was fun. I literally could analyze charts all day. Thank you so much, David, for having me.
Yeah, thanks for being here. Good opening to this event.
Thank you.
We got a few more minutes if anyone else has any symbols or questions.
And I would just add this too, because I'm super crazy about risk management. Y'all be careful swinging into tomorrow. There's a lot of chaotic things happening today after hours, and I just would hate to see anyone get barbecued. So just be careful with that. You have like what, Google, Apple, I think Amazon, all of them reporting. Like, you do not want to be on the wrong side of history with that. Just worry about the gaps tomorrow. That's my best. It's not financial advice. It's just life advice.